Kyle Klingman with Track Wrestling. We have the second Cliff Keen National Collegiate Women's Wrestling Championships coming up this weekend. The reigning team champions, McKendree, led by Sam Schmidt, also does double duty. He's also an assistant coach for the men's team. Sam, good to have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's always fun to be on.
I appreciate that. How do you pull this off, being an assistant coach for men's and then a head coach for women's?
Well, I think the jury's probably out on that one. I don't think I pull it off in the best way I could, but I just try to help where I can. You know, it's tough. It's tough, but wrestling's wrestling, man. It's fun to be a wrestling coach. It's a blessing to be a wrestling coach. So, yeah, it's just a lot of fun to do it and see how we can help kids grow and develop. And I try to pull it off as best as I could, but I got a good support system that helps me all the time do that. So, but it's a lot of fun.
Do you have an art for how you balance two teams and family?
I don't. If anybody's got any advice, they could please send it my way so that I could do it. I try my best. I try to be me, and man, I try to lean on as many people as I can. You know, I got great assistant coaches here. You know, Gabby Wyrick does a great job of helping out and stepping in when I got to be dad or stepping in when I'm with the men's team. You know, but the same thing goes with Coach Kiskin on the men's side. You know, I get to pick his brain a lot and ask for help and guidance and tons of questions that I ask him. And I think that goes for a lot of people that do that, whether you're a wrestler or a coach. I think everybody's got their kind of support system that they ask for help. And if I didn't have that, there's no way I could pull it off. But obviously my wife is is just a rock star, period. Helps me a ton and does a great job of raising our daughter while I'm not around. And, you know, I was gone for 4 days. I just got back yesterday at 4 p.m. And I'd been gone since Friday. So, you know, she's on her own and it's tough, but she does a great job.
Make sure you fill people in on your wife, Michaela Hutchison. She was a rock star in wrestling from Alaska. Tell us about her background for people who may not know.
Yeah, my wife is one of 10 kids. We actually just got another nephew about 2 hours ago. We had another nephew that was born. But yeah, one of 10 kids. Few of her brothers were 4-time state champions. She was the first girl to win a state title against in a boys division in the entire country. U.S. Open champ, 3-time WCWA champ. You know, all the Fargos and the world teams and the stuff, you know, did really well on the senior level. While she was helping here coaching, she was also wrestling on the senior level and training. And but I mean, other than that, just an amazing soul, just searching for God and just a spiritual woman and loving to the kids on our team, the girls on our team, and just a great role model for them. I mean, even while I was gone with the men, she made some of the girls fish tacos and had them over at the house, and they were hanging out with our daughter and reading their books. And I mean, she's just a great model of how to be as a women's wrestler, as a young woman, as a mother, as all those things. She's just perfect for these girls to look up to. And I'm so blessed to have her around. And yeah. So
do you want to keep doing double duty with coaching men's and women's for the foreseeable future?
I don't know. I always hope that I could, at least put my shoes on, and at least, put my mouthpiece in, put my shoes on and get to roll around a little bit, whether it's, in a coaching role or just kind of lingering around a men's program. I'm fine with lingering around and sitting against the wall. And if I get to drill once in a while, I'm cool with that too. But whatever I can do to just give back to the sport that's given me a lot, it's taken me a lot of places, and I've had a lot of wonderful coaches in my life, and it's cool to be able to just kind of be around it, whether I get to be in charge or just get to help. I don't care. I just love wrestling. So yeah, whatever I could do. Double dipping's fine. It's a lot, but it's fun. These kids make it a blast. So.
Why'd you grow up with a chip on your shoulder? Where did that come from?
I don't know. Probably because I'm short. Everybody would call me short or whatever it is, but I don't know where the chip came from. Probably it's a fault. It's, and I just kind of always wanted to prove to people that I could do things. I was adopted at a young age, and a little bit of my mom thinks it's that. My mom thinks it's that I felt like I was given up, and I want to prove that I need to be accepted and I belong. So that's my mom's theory on it. I think she's probably pretty accurate. She knows me best. So I think that's a piece of it, but I don't think it's an angry thing as a chip on my shoulder. I think it's just I want to prove prove to people that I belong and I can I can do all the things that maybe they think that I can't do or thought that I couldn't do. So yeah, maybe that's.
Are there some specific things that people have said that they thought you couldn't do that you're accomplishing now?
No, I think a little bit is my failures as an athlete too. Maybe I was a kid who I probably should have won a state title, and when I was in high school, and then I probably should have won a national title when I was in college. I think I had the ability, and so failing kind of has put that chip on my shoulder too. Just constantly trying to prove to myself that I can be better, I can get better, I can accomplish something, and that's probably where a little bit of the chip comes from too. Is like my own shortcomings and trying to prove to myself mainly.
How much of that wanting to prove other people wrong is in your own head, and it's just
it's 100%. That's what I mean. Yeah, it's more me than it is anybody else. There's nobody out there. They don't tell it to me, but there's nobody out there, yelling at me, screaming at me, telling me I can't do it. It's mainly me, and creating that own enemy in my head to keep me motivated. And I think a lot of people do that and probably don't admit to it, but I'll be maybe the first to admit that it's created by myself to give myself something to fight, and that keeps it keeps me motivated. So I guess whatever you got to do to keep yourself moving forward, and getting better and trying to fix your own shortcomings, I think is the best way to do it. So.
When did you find the women's wrestling space and become driven by this lane, a great lane in the sport? When did you find women's wrestling and decide this is where you wanted to be?
Man, I was at Lindenwood Belleville when they still had a program, and I'd wrestled at Lindenwood University, and then the Lindenwood Belleville program was starting up, and I moved over there and was working with Paul Collum, who was a national champ from Missouri Valley back in the day in the NAIA, and wrestled for Iowa Central, I believe, too. And he came to me and said, "Hey, we're going to start a women's program." I just finished my graduate assistant position and finished my master's degree, and that was kind of the next step. It was like, "Hey, we got a part-time job for you, if you want to stick around." And it was to coach the women's team, and that's kind of how I fell into the lane. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of was slow to jump into it, a little bit hesitant, but after I dove into it, I think that it was a new challenge. It was fun. Women are so much fun to be around, and just they work hard, and they're just a blessing to be around. And I learned that really quick. It was a lot of fun to try to help, and then kind of, yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, and then got involved with USA Wrestling, and then McKendree called, and here I am. So.
And here we are with the second National Collegiate Women's Championships for NCAA schools. We had the first one last year. Good thing we got it in Adrian, Michigan, because the next week the NAIA championships for the women's got canceled. But just in hindsight, just reflecting on that first tournament, what do you think that did for women's wrestling?
Oh, it was awesome. It was so cool to just be able to see, just NCAA schools and see where we are, see where the growth can continue to happen. See a lot of people, a lot of new faces that we're seeing, maybe just any collegiate collegiate national championship for the first time, as far as the women's division. So there was a lot of new faces and people in the stands and even behind the head table that maybe hadn't seen it yet. Maybe they hadn't been to a WCWA event and seen it. And it was just really cool for the first time. And our kids had a blast, and our coaches enjoyed it. And it was just, I think it was great for women's wrestling. It was really cool.
Was it celebrated by McKendree at the school winning it?
It wasn't. We kind of got slapped in the face with the, pandemic, and we all went our separate ways. I was in South Dakota pretty quickly afterwards with our men's team, with our 8 qualifiers that we had. So we would have planned on having something when we came back. like we've done in years past. So whether it's a team banquet or getting announced in front of a basketball game or a soccer game or whatever it is. So that was probably in the works, but yeah, everything, like everybody knows, kind of changed, and the world changed, and yeah, we didn't really get a chance to.
How have you liked some of the changes? Last year, it was just open for anyone that wanted to participate. Now there was a qualification procedure for the second one. Have you liked that?
Yeah, I think it was cool. I think it was really cool. I think it changed things, and it kind of added a new piece to it, where that championship season, that part of our championship was extended a little bit, and it kind of started the road to that, where, okay, I got to qualify first, and then go on and get to wrestle the national tournament. And it was cool. It's a cool thing to start, and I'm excited for what it could be in the future, whether regions switch around or change, or some become more competitive, some become, add more teams. I mean, whatever it is, it'll be cool to see how it pans out in the future.
Pretty crazy. You guys come in as the top ranked team in women's wrestling. You have 4 number 1s, 3 number 2s, but one of your number 3s is a returning NCAA champion, and she has a teammate that she's battling with. Talk about the 101-pound battle that you have going right now.
Yeah, it's it's tough when you have 2 great kids at a weight class, where they are extremely respectful to each other. They're both amazing human beings and work hard and do all the things that they're supposed to do. So it's tough when they have to battle each other for something they both want. But I think both of them would sit and tell you that they'd probably rather wrestle that match every day in the wrestling room than just once in a while outside of the wrestling room, if that makes sense. They get to go pick that person out that they know can challenge them. Right. And they're in the same weight class, and they can wrestle them when we wrestle live, and they can drill with them, and they can, pick their brains and figure out, man, maybe this is where you're beating me, or whatever it is. And I think personally, that's what I would like. And I think both of them would probably agree with that they'd rather have that match close to them in the wrestling room. And then they can prepare each other for going out there and kind of unleashing each other, unleashing onto other 101-pounders. So it's a different thing, but it's good. It's good for him. It's good for him. So.
Your 136-pounder Brenda Reyna had a fantastic Captain's Cup on Flow Wrestling. How much confidence did that give her going into the national championships?
I think her confidence is still growing. Her goal, like many others, is to make an Olympic team and make world teams. And I think it's still a process, right, of getting her confidence back. Brenda kind of had a bad knee injury 2 years ago, actually the day my daughter was born, and she's trying to work her way back to not even what she was, but just a new, improved version of Brenda Reyna, and mentally, powerful and physically powerful, and having confidence when she steps onto the wrestling mat. And that just added to it. That was just another sign to her and to hopefully a lot of people, like, man, this girl can wrestle. She knows what she's doing. She may have had a bad knee injury, and she may have taken, almost 2 years off, but this girl still has it, and she's only going to get better. And her mindset is really, really, really getting better, to give her that confidence when she steps on the mat, that she can compete with anybody in the country, and hopefully anybody in the world, and get herself a world medal here, hopefully in a few months as well. So.
When did you make the decision for Emma Bruntel and Alara Boyd to move up in weight class? They were at a weight class lower last year. When did that decision get made?
It got made. We had already thought it, and we had a shortened season, where some things happened where, people were jumping into competition pretty quick and not having a ton of time. That's kind of what happened with Alara's weight descent plan, where she kind of got locked in there at 55 for a little while. But then we kind of saw that, man, this might actually be okay for her. She fits well, and she can move well there, and she's not really worried about cutting weight. And it's another challenge, and I think that's what we've talked about. It's a challenge. It's a new challenge for her, and she's got to, you got to beat somebody, right? You got to beat somebody to win a national title. And why not? Unlike the 101-pound weight class, why not give those girls a chance to beat somebody that's not their teammate to do so, right? And I think Brenda would have had to beat Emma, and Emma would have had to beat Alara, and vice versa, and all of them together. Like they would have had to beat their teammate. Maybe, hopefully, that's what you hope for. So why not give them their own chance in a weight class? And I think Alara's got a great chance to do well at that weight class, just like Emma has a great chance to do well at her weight class, and Brenda the same. So now they get to kind of battle through their brackets and not have to worry about maybe facing a teammate, and they get to do it on their own. So that was kind of what went into it. It wasn't a huge drawn out thought, a big, long thought out process. It was more just, hey, I think this is good for us. And I think, we can do well and you can do well. And that kind of was what was told to all of them.
And then you have two of the best upper weights in the country, Joy Lewandowski and Sydney Kimber, who's from Alaska. How do they challenge each other in practice?
Man, they those girls are probably ready for some more teammates around those weight classes to get some different looks, but they do challenge each other a lot. They all wrestle each other really hard and are close. They're all pretty close to those upper girls, just friends outside the room, and challenge each other, and hold each other accountable with what you're eating and how you're training and what else you're doing, what your extra workouts look like, and they kind of push each other and elevate each other all around. But yeah, definitely in the room, they give each other good looks, and it's fun to watch them wrestle in here. And it's exciting to see how they do this weekend, and get to finally put their hands on maybe some other girls around their size instead of each other for a change.
You are known for your sideline antics, and we get excited whenever you get excited about a match. What kind of dance moves are we going to see this year for the second championships?
I don't know, man. I'm just hoping I got enough energy left after this. You can hear, if you can't hear it in my voice, I'm hoping that I got enough energy left for this weekend to do some dance moves. But I don't know. You guys aren't, I know the videos are funny, but everybody makes fun of me about it, and I don't know. I just get excited about what's going on, and I hope, I guess I'm trying to will some movement out of our kids by turning myself and jumping around. But I just love this sport. Like I said at the beginning, I love this sport. It's done a lot for me, and I think that's kind of where the passion comes out, is just when I get to see other kids, succeed and try to succeed, and through the failure and the triumph, it's just fun. And that's probably where the dance moves come from, I bet, or I guess.
So the girls talk about it quite a bit?
Well, it's just added to the list of things they make fun of me about, whether it's my outfit or what I'm eating, or that I didn't put deodorant on that morning. I'm showing a move on them. I mean, whatever it is, like, it's just add it to the list. It's just fuel for their fire of hate on coach. So.
Well, you are the top ranked team in the country. The Cliff Keen National Collegiate Women's Wrestling Championships are this weekend. All the best as you move forward, and can't wait to get the other schools like Simon Fraser back in the fold. Let's hope it's a one-time deal, Sam.
Yeah, I don't want to say it, but I'm ready for things to be different. How's that sound? I'm ready for things to be what they can be as far as wrestling goes, and we can get back to just what, the environment, the competitiveness that it used to be. And I think we're getting there. This is going to be a fun weekend, and I'm excited for everybody, not only our team, but just everybody to get that experience and enjoy it. And we get back to wrestling and competing, and the drama, the excitement, all the things. It's just fun. And I think everybody wants that. So it's going to be really cool and fun. And however it goes, I'm just excited to be back wrestling again.